The Americans with Disabilities Act, the ADA, was signed into law on July 26, 1990 by President George H.W. Bush. The ADA is one of America's most comprehensive pieces of civil rights legislation that prohibits discrimination and guarantees that people with disabilities have the same opportunities as everyone else to participate in the mainstream of American life.
The name alone actually helped me. When I first came home and was able to go back to work, the place I was working at, they didn't want to actually do the necessary things to make it accessible for me. So they would rather lay me off than make it accessible. So, once I let them know that I was going to reach out to the ADA, and I think that name alone was enough for them to do what they had to do, so I appreciate the ADA for even being around for that.
If the Equal Employment Opportunity Act of 1972 wasn't enough, the more precise guidelines of the Americans with Disability Act seem to serve justification.
Hi, I'm Kathy Kuss. I'm the Graduate Assistant to the Director for Disability Support Services.
For millions of disabled persons, these words mean access to the workplace, to shopping, and to services. But for some business owners, these words mean fear about expensive lawsuits and remodeling projects if their businesses are not in compliance with the ADA regulations. Regulation for this side to be painted blue?
Yes, it is. It actually coincides with the new accessible signs.
Okay. And then also, let's come over here real quick. Also, are these signs, is it regular that you guys have these signs all through the campus to show?
Yes, it is.
And even also, I didn't realize you guys have these One crucial step is to hire a Certified Access Specialist, or in abbreviated terms, a CASP. You have legal protections if you work with the CASP to identify and correct disability access violations.
Well, in the power chair, some of the big things that I see is once I actually get up to a door, I think everything's accessible and going to be fine, and then the door's not wide enough, and definitely not wide enough if I'm in my manual chair, because my manual chair is actually wider and I have to have room to push through. So I find myself cutting my hands up or things like that. Or you'll see too, there'll be like just a little lip on the door, and that's fine in my manual chair. I can bump over it or kind of do a wheelie over top. But in this chair can't go over little lips. So I guess with businesses, they think it's accessible, but it's really not.
The Equal Opportunities in Education Act of 2002 also helped give persons with disabilities an equal chance in the classroom as well.
I'm a jack of all trades. We do intakes of new students, people who have newly discovered they have a disability or disorder. I proctor exams. I communicate with professors to get proper exams, coordinate proctors in different separate rooms so you can have isolation, or work with the professor so they can start out in the classroom and then move to like a side lab for the extended time. I do all the technology work. We use Firefly and Access textbooks for audiobooks where you can read it on your iPad, on your laptop, and it reads it aloud and highlights a little bit of everything.
As you can see, disability accessibility not only means to be able to enter and exit physically with mobility, but it also opens up the awareness and opportunity in other arenas such as education and employment. Furthermore, being able to function more emotionally and convivial in society and maintaining a productive lifestyle in one's community.